We've all got a pair of running shoes that look a little something like that. They've seen better days, holes in the upper, the tread underneath is properly worn, there really isn't much more support. And the big question is, how do you tell that your running shoes have seen better days, that you need a new pair of kicks? Well, today that's exactly what we are going to be talking about, how to tell that you need a new pair of running shoes. My name is Brad, I'm from CoachParry.com, where we help you become fitter, faster and stronger. And we're joined by our coach, Parry, once again today, and we'll be talking all things running shoes. Don't forget, we put these videos out once a week, and if you don't want to miss any of them, make sure you hit the subscribe button that's on the screen right now. But enough of that, let's head over to the coach. We'll be talking running shoes on today's video. Parry, our coach, with us once again. Lindsay, are you well?
I'm very good, thanks, Brad.
Awesome. Let's talk some running shoes. And we've done an extensive post on how many sort of kilometers or miles you should be getting out of a pair of shoes. But there are some telltale signs that you can look at when your running shoes are a bit sketchy and probably need to be replaced. Tell us about some of the things or the signs that you look out for in a pair of shoes when it's time to trade them in on a new one.
Cool. So generally speaking, and I've got a pair of shoes that's about 300, actually looking at them probably closer to 450 Ks in. So you start to see a few signs of wear and tear in them. So generally I start looking at the back of the shoe, depending on whether you're a mild pronator, heel strike and so on. You would start to wear into the back of the shoe. Normally that's not a problem, but once the wearing gets to or can get to a point where it starts to cause blistering, and that would obviously be a bit of an issue. Much more importantly is we're looking at the underside of the shoe, and most people will have some sort of wear towards the outer half of the back of the shoe. Most of us are close to or strike towards the back. You can see, for me, I'm just behind the midfoot, but you can see some definite wear taking place there. Then we roll onto the ball of our foot, and that's typically where we wear into the middle, and then we come off on the big toe, ideally. And if you're pronating, you're probably coming off on the inside edge. So there is an outer. So this is what we'd call the outer sole. And then we have the midsole. So once you start wearing through that outer into the midsole, that is a damn good sign that you're probably getting to the end of the life of a pair of shoes. Some other telltale signs is we definitely develop some creasing in, typically again on the medial side, but it can also be on the lateral side. So typically we'll develop some creasing in the medial side of that midsole. Once that really starts to look like a proper wrinkled raisin, then we can normally tell that the shoe is over compressed and probably losing its cushioning properties. And then we do want some flexibility in a pair of shoes, but if there's no resistance, or when we do this and the shoe doesn't really come back, those would also be signs that your shoe is ready to replace. So look, I said earlier, this shoe's done about 450 Ks, and we can see just over here that I'm not a long way from getting in to that midsole. So I reckon this shoe's got another 150 to 200 Ks, and then I will be into that midsole. And it will be time for me to get a new pair of shoes.
Lindsay, looking at the uppers, and I'm using myself as an example here, I've got a couple of toes that do their own thing. They're a bit crazy at the best of times, and they obviously don't like being in shoes because they try and escape all the time. And there's certain sort of places in shoes that wear, and I wear through the uppers pretty quickly, and holes develop. Does it make a difference if you pick up one or two little scuff holes on the upper of the shoe, or is it purely you're looking at the bottom and the soles to make sure that everything is good?
So if the holes in the upper get big enough that there's the movement on top of the shoe becomes a free-for-all, then you probably also need to start looking at the upper. But if you're getting some holes perhaps in the toe box, or if you're getting, say, a hole on the inside of the shoe, kind of where the big toe metatarsal joins into the foot, those kind of things really aren't a problem, and they don't change the structural integrity of the shoe, and they don't interfere with the cushioning properties of the shoe. So it would only be if they tear and they really start to become quite big holes, and therefore the lacing system really can't do anything to keep your foot in place, and you start to find that your foot is moving too far across the midsole. So yeah, a couple of cosmetic blemishes, holes, not really an issue.
Thanks for joining us on this video. Don't forget, if you don't want to miss any of these videos that we put out, hit the subscribe button over here. You can catch our latest video over here, and one of our most popular is over here. And also, if you want to shave 10 minutes off your PB, all you need to do is download our free strength training program. You can get that right here.